let's see the main drawing functions that we can use to draw the spaces for our interiors. All the drawing functions are in the first tab called Create Room. Here we have a 2D view on the left where we can see the floor plan of the room and sizes of each of the walls. The walls, as you can see here, have all got these blue handles. We can drag these handles to move the walls and so to change the sizes. For example, now you see it says here 400 centimeters for this wall. Okay, and we can also move this wall like this, and you see the size is being updated here, 250. Inside of this blue shape there is also a red dot on each wall. This, by clicking it, opens up some editing options. You can see these later on. For example, we can choose this option, which is the simplest, called Split, and this allows me to create a number of subdivisions on this main wall. For example, I'm going to choose 3 and then apply. And so now basically I've obtained 3 separate segments that I can move to change the shape of my room. Okay, the 3D view that you can see here on the right lets us pick a different surface to work on. So if I click on a wall from the 3D, I can then view it here on the left. For example, I'm going to choose this wall here and then click on the button Add Window or Door. When I click here, we can see the various parameters to create a new window. I'm just going to insert the window in a default position, which is in the center, to show you this, that while working on the 2D canvas I can select this object. I see the usual handles that we just saw, so I can drag this window somewhere else by dragging this, the blue corner, place it here, for example. I have the usual red handles with some options. For example, I can choose the option called Move to move in the vertical direction. If I want to move it upwards, I can write a value with a minus sign. So for example, minus 90 centimeters. Apply. Again, move, this time horizontally to the right, so with a positive number. Let's just write, for example, 20 centimeters. Apply, and so I've moved the window exactly into the position that I wanted. Let's see this option called Add 3D Surface. We can use this to draw any constructive element in our drawing. For example, columns, partition walls, raised floors, shelves, niches, and so on. So by clicking on this button, Add 3D Surface, as for the doors and windows, we have a settings panel where we can compile by entering all the parameters for a new 3D block. For now, I'm just going to click Apply to show you how you can work with these. So this basically creates a new element that you can select, and you can see also here on the 3D view. This element has the same exact tools, so I can use the handles to modify its shape. You can see it here in the preview on the 3D view. We have the red dots with the options for editing. In this case, for example, we can choose the elevation option. Okay, so this block has an elevation of 50 centimeters. I can change this to another value, 270, for example. Apply, and you see that now this has been shaped into a column, for example. Now let's say that we want to move this block somewhere else. We can make a rectangular selection using the mouse in order to select all 4 of the vertices of this element. When I finish the selection, you see that the points are now highlighted with a green color, and this means that if I drag any of these, I can move the element altogether. For example, I'm going to move it in this corner here. To undo the selection, we simply need to press ESC on our keyboard. Okay, so now a block like this can be shaped into something else. Okay, for example, we could make this into a partition wall. Okay, with any thickness, any size that we prefer. Let's say now that we want to change the elevation again. Apply, and you see that this could be, for example, a wall to divide a corner for a shower in this case. 3D elements like these can also be made from a wall. To do this, we select a wall from the 3D view and then click again on Add 3D Surface. Here we can set an elevation for this new block. This is important to understand that in this case the elevation is meant from the wall and not from the floor. So for example, if we insert a positive value, in this case 50 centimeters, I'm just going to click Apply, we obtain a block that we can move around in our wall, which starts from the wall surface and comes inside of the room. For example, we could shape this to become some kind of shelf. Okay, like this. Instead, if we repeat this operation, so select the wall and click on Add 3D Surface again. Now I'm going to add an elevation with a negative value, so minus 50 centimeters. Apply. In this case, what I've created is a recess on this wall. So this is actually a block that starts from the wall surface and goes on the outside of the room. If you then need to remove any of these elements, we simply use the red handles, click on any of the sides of the object, and then select Remove. These tools not only can be used on the floors and walls, but also we can use them on top of other elements that we've created. For example, I can select this block that I've created here. This block has an elevation of 60 centimeters, as you can see here. After I've selected this block, I can choose this other option called Add 3D Border. What this tool does is to create a new element within this one that I've selected by choosing a border size. Okay, for example 10 centimeters. The elevation here says 60 because it's the elevation of this element. I'm going to write 0 and then Apply. Okay, and you can see that what this has done is to create another element within the one that I selected before, leaving a border of 10 centimeters between the two elements. This could be used, in this case, for example, to create a place where I can then put a bathtub inside of it. We will see in Place Objects how you can place these kinds of objects. And then I will be able to cover the sides of this bathtub with some nice tile layouts. Okay, so once you practice with these tools, you can model many different elements that you need. For example, you can see here on this wall, I've created this 3D surface so that I can have a sloped ceiling in my room. Here on the floor, I've created these blocks to make some steps to enter in my bathtub. You can really draw any kind of constructive element that you need. Instead, when you need to add products in your room, such as furniture, you don't need to draw them at all. You can then simply download them in the project later on in the Place Objects tab, picking real products from the Tilelook library.